Hey guys, and welcome to the second episode of my Decades Challenge. We're here with me introducing you to my Sims. This here, as you see, is our first Sim. He is the dad of our triplet Sims, whom one is the heir. So he would have been technically like the heir before if we had played him, but we didn't play him. Anyways, his name is John, and his wife, Jane, died of childbirth. I'm going to be showing you the outfits and things throughout this while I just talk to you guys about him. His lifetime wish is a homesteader, which is a custom one. There's a bunch of custom ones that I have. His traits are animal enthusiast, glutton, and neat. And John's story is that Jane gave birth to the twins and passed away in childbirth, unfortunately. It was a very sad time for him, and he struggled a long time. And then once his kids became of age to marry, he decided it was time to sell the farm and moved to where we are now, living with our 3 homes, and to pretty much marry off his children and hope that they can do better than he did. He sold off his home to the church and bought 3 plots of land with it, one for each of his kids, and built the smallest or best homes, I guess, that he could afford at the time back then. And so so that's where our story is going to begin. We just recently moved here, and he has just purchased the land for them, and they all have their own little places and their wives and husbands and things. So yeah, that is definitely where we're at. These are just his outfits. His everyday will eventually be all of his different like outfits that you didn't see, and he doesn't wear a wedding band because he's technically a widow. He technically doesn't have a wife, and he never remarried because Jane was the love of his life, and he could never fathom remarrying, even knowing that it could have, given him more children and so on and so forth. He just never did. So to this day, he still has never remarried, and he never will. And Jane will always be his one true love. So next, I'm going to introduce you to our heir, which is William. This here is our Sim, William, and he is our heir. He is actually a teen, and I forgot to tell you that his dad is actually a young adult. He's a teen. These are his outfits. He is also a homesteader. He is also an animal enthusiast like his father, and he loves the outdoors. Is his other trait. William has recently been married, and as we all know, we are peasants in this day and age. So William has recently married another peasant female, and I will introduce her to you next. So these are his outfits, and this is what William looks up close. He has green eyes, which I think are fantabulous, and he looks a lot like his dad, which I kind of wanted one child to look kind of like his dad, and this is William. He kind of wears the same clothes. I just fathomed that his dad would have given him the clothes, like handed down the clothes to him, and I thought that was great. So yeah, this is going to be the heir sim that you're going to see us playing with a lot. And next, let me introduce you to his wife. So this here is our heir's wife. Her name is Alice. She is a teen. She wants to be an accomplished lady for her lifetime wish. She is romantic and cheerful, and she was married into the family. Her family would have had to pay a dowry to the church, which is what it's called when a peasant sim is married, or any sim back then was married. They paid the church a specific amount of money to marry off their daughter into another home. So her dowry would have been paid so that she could have married our heir sim, William. And I do know that her hair is kind of glitchy, and it kind of glitches through her hat, but it was the only hair that I could find that was semi-okay. So we're just gonna have to kind of bear with me here while I look for a better hairstyle. But yeah, so she's a redheaded sim, and I just thought that would bring in some new blood, new genetics kind of thing into the pool for genes, because I think that's going to be important. And this is her everyday attire with her hat on, and then I will show her sleepwear here, and also her cold weather attire. I cannot remember whom I created swim suits for, because honestly it's just their undergarments and it's just like a default replacement, so it's not like a big thing. But yeah, this is her sleepwear. It's nothing fantabulous, let's be honest. And then this is her cold attire. So this is what Alice looks like, and I think that her and William are gonna make beautiful little babies, and they are gonna be a very happy couple, hopefully. And like I said, they're both teens, so we'll be starting out having babies as teens, because back in the day and age, that's what was the norm. So yeah, so this is Alice, William's wife. Let's get on to William's little brother. This here is William's younger brother, the second of the triplets. His name is Richard. He is also a teen, obviously. He has the aspiration to be a beekeeper. He is clumsy and romantic, and he also has been wed to a young peasant lady, whom we will show next. This is Richard's everyday attire. It's a little bit different than William's, so we can kind of tell them apart because they all look very similar. And then this is his sleep attire. This is pretty much the only thing I have for men, unfortunately, in this day and age for sleepwear. And then this is his outerwear. And yeah, everybody is getting a wedding ring because it's important that they all show that they're married. And yeah, so we won't see as much of Richard as we will of William, because Richard isn't our heir, William is, but I did want to incorporate them because they are part of the family tree. And so I wanted you guys to be able to see them. So yeah, this is Richard, and next I will show you Richard's wife, Catherine. This here is Catherine. Now, Catherine is actually the first of our two preteens. So her aspiration is to be successful family traditions, which is another custom one. So is the beekeeper aspiration and the accomplished lady and the homesteader. Okay, all of them so far have been. She is friendly and cheerful, and I wanted Catherine to be a little bit different, to bring in a little bit different of genes as well. So she's a blonde-haired girl, whom I think is really beautiful. And she comes obviously from a peasant household who also had to pay a dowry to the church to marry her off. And she was wed off to our sim Richard, so her last name is Adam as well. John, William, Alice, Richard, and Catherine all have the last name of Adam, because the girls always take the guy's last name, and that was our heir's last name. So this is her outerwear, and I went through her other two outfits already. And next I will show you the youngest of the three triplets, which is the only daughter to John and Adam, which is Matilda. Okay, so this here is Miss Matilda, and her last name is Baker now because she married off into the Baker household. She is a teen. Her aspiration is big happy family. Her two traits are dog lover and loves the outdoors. She looks identical to her mama, Jane, which is so sad, except for her nose and her mouth are just slightly different, along with a little bit of her face shape is a little different. But this is her beautiful peasant dress for her everyday. And then I will show you her sleep in her outerwear, because like I said, all the other outfits are going to be the same as everyone's everyday outfit, so we have nothing to worry about there, but these are it. I do know that we are using the same outfit here for quite a few of the ladies, but the problem is there isn't really a lot of outerwear for ladies, and so I just figured it was no big deal to use this a couple of times for this time period. And then we just had to add a wedding band to her because I had forgotten to give her one when I was creating her in cast. So I just wanted to make that really proper and make sure she had her wedding band on. I did change wedding band color for everyone because I thought that was very fitting. So like William and Alice have a specific color. Richard and Catherine have a specific color wedding band. And then Matilda and her husband, whom I haven't told you his name, they have their own specific color wedding band. So yeah, this is Matilda, our last sim for our like heirs siblings. And next I will show you Matilda's husband, Hugo Baker. So this here is Hugo Baker. He is also a preteen, and our family, our main family, would have had to pay the dowry for her to marry Hugo. Hugo is not the heir of his family. He is the second son in that family, so he moved in with our family to take on our farm because his older brother would have taken their farm. I did not create their family just because I don't think I need to, but Hugo here wants to be a fabulous farmer. He is an animal enthusiast and athletic, and these are his outfits. So yeah, that is all about Hugo. His family, like I said, would have married him off, but would not have paid the dowry to get married off. Only the girls back then paid the dowries to the church to get married. So he moved in with us. I did not create his family because I don't need to. I know that sounds really horrible. Like I could probably do it, but I don't want to add any more Sims than I have to, and I already have quite a few here. So yeah, him and Matilda will be living their life together, and John is actually living with Hugo and Matilda, which is the father of the triplets, because I just figured that was a little bit easier. And if you noticed, Hugo has black hair, which is another genetic we don't have already, so I wanted to make sure I was trying to get different genetics for everybody, and I wanted to make sure that I was trying to cover a couple of bases so all of our Sims aren't brown haired and that good stuff. So yeah, this is my family, and again, the backstory is that their mother passed away in childbirth and their father moved them here, split the money from selling the farm to buy them each a plot of land and to try and start anew. So that's what our family is doing, and I hope you will stick around for the preview of the next episode. I'll speak to you guys then.